Yes.
All right, we have started the recording. Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
I'm Brenny Larson, and I'm host today. I am the founder of momentumu, and it's all about bringing in these really awesome speakers that have these gifts to share so that you get to find out who you are and be a better you. Couldn't ask for a more fun topic, for me at least, because human design is right up my alley. I love chakras, I love astrology, and I love the I Ching. Might be because I do feng shui, not sure. But today I have Tammy Long Schmeichel, and you might hear me call her Schmickle. I'm sorry.
Along with everybody else.
She's got one of those great vibration names. Like, you know, I always think about a game show host because whenever I see her, I want to go, Tammy Long Schmeichel. So today I'm going to turn it over to Tammy, and we are going to cover what is human design for those of you that, you know, this might be completely new and you've never heard of it before, and how it can benefit you. And then we're going to do this brief overview where she has wonderfully gifted us, where she will do your chart for you. So if you can see this link down here, if you're not registered, if you just happen to have come through Zoom from the momentumu Facebook page under events, we want to make sure you get your free chart. So all you do is go to momentumu.online/Tammy. You'll receive an email, and there is a big button with arrows that say, click here to get my free chart. And it's simple. You just basically put in your birth date, your birth time, make sure you have your email so she can send it to you. And you will find out so much about yourself in a fun environment. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to turn it over to Tammy, and I'm going to zip out of here. But I will be listening and pop back in if you have questions for me or if I get any downloads of information from people, or, you know what I'm saying. All right, I'm out of here. There we go.
All right. Thank you, Brenny. So I'm Tammy Schmeichel, just to reiterate here. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit first about when I got into human design. So it was about 6 years ago. I was studying astrology, and I came across human design. And the first thing I saw was a human design chart. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? It is just such a cool looking thing. It just immediately draws you in. So I had to find out more, and I got my chart done. I got a chart reading. And it's just such a powerful, powerful thing. It just really drew me in. And I was studying astrology, so I eventually got away from it for a little while. And I have just been coming back to it recently because it feels very important in my work. So I've been bringing it back in. So basically, human design is like a really mystical, magical blueprint for our lives. It's a combination of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah system, the chakra system, quantum physics, astronomy, genetics, biochemistry. So there's a lot of things involved. It's a very complex system. It's a pretty new science of self-discovery. It's been around for roughly about 30 years. It hasn't been very well known until more recently, though. So a lot of you may have heard of it at some point. Some of you may have never heard of it before. So it's been around, but it's not as well known as some of the other things like astrology, obviously. So the basis of human design is these subatomic particles that come from the stars called neutrinos. And these neutrinos are constantly bombarding us with their energy. And the planets also impact the way that those neutrinos are flowing to us. So that is affecting us constantly, and that's the basis of this whole system. So this came about in January 1987. It was basically just transmitted as a huge download to a gentleman named Robert Allen Krakauer, who was from Canada. He had been in the corporate world for a while. He had then decided to leave all that behind. He was kind of going through some transformation, and he was at his house in Ibiza, Spain. So over a period of 8 days and nights, this information was just basically just downloaded into him. And it was a very powerful and exhausting experience for him. Basically, he just kind of fell down, and this voice started speaking to him. And this voice continued speaking to him for 8 days and nights. So you can imagine how exhausted he was at the end of all this. But it was basically the thing that just shifted his world completely. So the voice had told him that, you know, this system would be very important in assisting humanity in shifting its consciousness, so that all of us would be able to evolve and grow with the changes, which we've been seeing these changes in the world for quite a while now. So once he assimilated all of this, and then he, you know, put the system together as the voice told him to do, he changed his name to Ra Uru Hu, and he knew that his life's mission was to teach humanity about human design. So that info was downloaded to him, but the energy of that human design system was transmitted to all of us. It belongs to all of us, not just him. So it's really beneficial in a lot of ways. So if you had a user's manual for life, this would be it. So we're basically all here for a unique purpose. We all have a unique design. If you look at the charts, you'll see that no two charts are alike. You can be, like, say, the same type as another person, but you're going to have different things activating your chart than anybody else. So when we grow up and we're in our daily life, we're basically receiving a lot of conditioning from other people. I mean, we grow up and we're told, you know, when we're in school, this is how you need to be, this is what, you know, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. We're always being influenced by other people throughout our life, and that pulls us away from our true self over the years. So with human design, it helps you to step into the energy of that authentic self that you are here to be. And you are able to step into that self very naturally and easily once you learn your design and know how to work with that in your life. So it helps us to release that conditioning and release those expectations that are created by others. And it brings us back to our own true nature and who we actually are here to be. And I just wanted to ask if anyone has any questions so far, if anybody, if this makes sense to everybody so far, if you have any questions at all. So if you do, just feel free to pop it.
If you're on the Zoom link, there you go, pop it in the chat. And if you are on the live stream on Facebook, put your comments in there. Don't be shy. Take advantage of this time to get this information. I love it because, to me, when I was talking to Tammy, I'm like, yay, this should be taught in schools.
Yes.
It really, it just lets you be introduced to you. So I think it's awesome. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Oh, it makes sense to Tian. Well, that's good.
Good.
What types of books are out there on this subject? Christine is asking. I'm going to pause for a minute. We will send an email out with other information, but actually, after we go through the 3-part series on the day of 3C, 3 of the 3rd part. So this is an introduction to human design, just kind of getting people a little bit interested. Not sure what's going on with that what that's about. Hold on, someone came on, and just give me 1 second. I gotta see who came on. Okay, we're going to mute that person, and I don't want to remove you. If you're that phone, if you can like mute yourself, or I don't know why that's popping up. But anyway, for now, so tomorrow we're going to go through, I'll pull up the chart for now then. Okay, hold on one moment. Okay, so tomorrow, first of all, everybody, we want you to register so that you get the email reminders, and there will be a replay, which you have to register to get that information for the replay. And it's really simple. Go to momentumu.online/Tammy. If you're on Facebook, you can just go under events on the Momentum U page and click there, and it has a link to this site right here also. So when you click on it, it takes you to this beautiful page here. It tells you a little bit about human design, what Tammy, and she's an enthusiast, a little bit about her, and then it covers what we will be covering. So today we're talking a little bit about human design, and then how it benefits you, and we're going to talk a little bit about the chart. Now, we want you to register because you get a free chart. And when you get that chart, tomorrow's going to be massive because it's going to tell you what type you are so you understand yourself a little bit better, and others will understand you. I think I'm probably a generator. I know I am. And if you know me, so if you go to leave, this pops up. So either way, you can click here, or if you go to leave, there'll be a pop-up. And then one lucky person is going to win a mini analysis. Remember, we just have these 30 minutes long because we know people are busy, whether you're watching the replay or you're on live, and we want to honor your time and make sure that you get this powerful information. So when you'd ask about, are there books out there? Well, I am just one of those people that have done a ton of self-study, and it's way more fun to hook up with people and hang out with people. So there will be a 4-week training. We weren't going to even talk about it until March 11th, but long as you ask, there will be a 4-week training live that Tammy's going to be doing, and it'll be $97. So hold on, see if that interests you, and then otherwise we can give you more information. I'm sure there's books out there, but just like feng shui, I want to make sure you get the right information. So be looking for our emails. So you get an email reminder before the call starts, you get an email reminder when the replay is up. And Tammy's doing these charts by hand for you. So make sure to get your information in right away so that she gets some sleep.
Yep.
Okay, so, trainings are good too. Yay, Christine. I love it. I'm super excited because this is going to be one of my favorite trainings because, like, I'm an I Ching crazy nut about it. And it's like, when I met Tammy, I actually have a information sitting here on I Ching in your DNA. So when I saw human design again, it was like, all these things were popping up in my head about how we could work together and how great this would be for my students. Okay, Tammy, do you want me to pull a chart up? You want to go on talking? It's your show, baby.
Oh, you can just leave that up if you want for now. And I'm just going to talk about some of the benefits, and then I'll go into the chart. So I guess if you want to put the chart up, that's fine, and it'll be ready.
Okay. And if you do pop on Zoom and you see yourself, just hide your video for us because we're doing recordings, and we are also live streaming on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Take it away.
All right. Yeah, so some of the benefits with human design, let me just look at my thingy here. So some of the benefits are that we're able to step into that person that we came here to be. It's like we all came here to be our own unique self and not like everybody else. So by getting familiar with your human design chart, you're able to see how your mental, physical, emotional bodies affect your health, your career, your relationships, your decision making. When you get familiar with your human design, you learn to trust yourself, and then you know the difference between your own energy and the energy that we take in from the world. And it's in our chart, like how much energy we do take in from the world and how much is our own. So we're learning how to act and to make decisions in the way that's perfect for our own design, and to live as our authentic selves, and to handle different situations in life in the correct way for us. There's a certain way we're all supposed to use our energy. And by using it correctly, it makes things flow a lot easier for us than if we're like pushing the river and trying to be someone we're not. We understand our gifts, we understand our challenges. You're able to improve your relationships. You're able to find the perfect work, the perfect business for you. You're able to create abundance in your own unique way. You're able to create better health. You can avoid overwhelm and burnout. You're able to connect with that unique way that you know and understand things. You're able to love yourself again. A lot of times people don't really love themselves because they don't truly know who they are yet. So by getting to know that true self, then you're able to love that self. You're able to awaken and live life as that person that you are. You're able to release any of that conditioning that you've been receiving all your life and release those expectations of others. So you make decisions in a way that are true to who you are. We're all programmed to make decisions differently. So by knowing that, that makes that a lot easier on you as well. So it's kind of a, when you start learning about your design, when you start getting seriously into it, you're basically starting to decondition yourself over time. And it's a cellular process. It does take roughly about 7 years to renew all the body cells and start over. So it's kind of a long process to really get into where we've released all that conditioning and we're starting true to ourselves. But we begin that process by knowing our type. That's probably one of the most important things for you to learn about is your type in human design. You then experiment with your strategy and authority as well. So when you are doing all three of those things, you're connecting to your type, you're experimenting with that strategy and authority, then things just naturally unfold for you, and they unfold the way that they're supposed to. So then you're able to go beyond that societal conditioning. You're able to listen to your own inner authority and become that person that you were designed to be. You're no longer relying on the mind or on other people to make decisions for you. So human design is really the path to awakening for us. So when you do live true to your nature and correct for your type, you're just naturally bringing in the right opportunities for yourself, the right relationships, the right career. So I'm just going to go to I'm just switching screens here.
Do you want me to stop the share so you can take over and share your screen?
No, that's good. I was just in another screen, so I just had to get out of that, but I'm good now. So if you look at the chart here, and this is one view of the chart, there are other views of the chart as well besides this one, but this one basically includes pretty much everything. You can see everything on here. Like if you look at the outer wheel of this chart, these are the hexagrams of the I Ching. So that's where the I Ching comes in. And if you look at the numbers on the inner wheel, these numbers correspond inside the chart to those numbers that you see there. So those numbers are called gates. If you see there's an astrological wheel here as well on the inner wheel of the chart, that's where the astrology comes in. And your basic chart, when I sent you your charts, I sent you this middle section here because I didn't want it to get too confusing and too overwhelming with all this stuff on here. So I sent you like the regular chart, which is this part right in the center that has all the funky looking squares and triangles there. So that's your chart. Yeah, Marie Claire, the numbers are corresponding to, it's kind of hard to see on here, but if you look inside the middle portion of the chart that's on the person here, where you see some of the centers are colored, some of the squares and triangles are colored in, some are not. There's numbers like along all these triangles here, along all these squares. So these numbers on the outside are just corresponding to these numbers, which are called the gates. I don't want to go too...
63 and 63 is here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's,
are these
yeah, just so you know.
here, is this what you're calling gates?
Yep, those numbers all represent gates, and those gates are within the centers. So all of these, some that are not colored in and some that are colored in, these are all called centers. And they're basically corresponding with the chakra system. It's a little different, obviously, than the chakra system, but these generally correspond with the chakra system, and there are a couple of extra centers here as well. But if you look, it means different things, like whether they're colored in or whether they're not colored in. This is my own chart here. So like you can see on my chart that I have this center colored in, and then I have this center colored in, and all my other ones are not colored in. So it means different things depending on what, your charts will look completely different, everybody's will. And if you look at where you see these red and black lines here, and how sometimes they're, on my chart, most of them are just halfway to the other center. So if you, if they go all the way to another center, they're called a channel. That's something to get into later on too, but I just want to give you a basic idea of what everything is called in here. And if you have your chart handy, it'll say some things on the top too. It'll tell you about your strategy. It'll tell you about your authority. It'll tell you about your not self theme. So those are all other things, to go into later on, but I'm just trying to get you familiar with some of the basic aspects of that.
I just find it incredibly interesting. And of course, then, I get really excited because when I see the DNA, I mean, that's what I think of when I see the hexagrams, because the hexagrams are 2 trigrams put together, which is your DNA. So when you're talking about how you renew your body and your cells, to me, it's like makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So this is just our little overview, and what I love about it is it's your user manual for life, and everybody is completely unique, because not anyone is born in the same place exactly at the same time, just like your fingerprints and all that are unique. And the more that you understand yourself first, it sure makes you feel good, because if you're like have a personality like mine, I'm always told by my family to be more quiet like my sister, and it's like, well, what would you guys talk about at the holidays? So we need balance in life.
Exactly.
If everybody was wild, it might be a chaotic universe, but if everybody was just really mellow, that would be kind of boring for someone like me. So do you have any questions at this time? We are at the 29-minute mark. So if you have questions that you want to ask that will benefit everybody, please ask those now. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is just thank everybody on the live stream on Facebook and stop the recording here, but we can stay on for a few minutes and chat with those of you that were kind enough to show up and to give us the fun energy that, as people that are very enthusiastic about that, it just validates and makes us feel really good that you showed up and you're interested in this. And it is a little complex to start with, but that's why we have this expert, and she's also an astrology expert. So
it's all complicated. All those systems.
Only if you think so. Somebody like me, it excites me. It's like, yes, but of course, I like physics, and I like, short math and Vedic mathematics. I'm one of those. So if you like any of that stuff, this would be really fun.
Yeah.
So I want to thank all the Facebook viewers, and if you're watching this replay, that's cool too. I will be sending an email out, so make sure you get registered so you can get the link to the replay page. And you may want to watch this over again and grab some of the stuff about the neutrinos. I'm like, oh, neutrinos, I better take notes.
Yes.
So thank you to everybody on Facebook. I'm going to stop the recording there. And let's see what this chat person has to say. Oh, you are so welcome, Suzanne Rollins. Thank you for always showing up. I'm going to stop our recording. So I will thank you, everyone here. The replay will be up in about an hour, and you'll get a link for that.